Here are 2 money methods that you want to focus on this week in GTA Online. Out of all of the money methods from the event, or at least the things with bonus money, I do think these 2 things will stand out the most and have the best potential to make you millions of dollars. So without wasting any more time, let's dive into the video. To begin with, I do want to start things off with the new Ludendorff Cemetery Survival, which has returned for this event. At this time, we do not know if this event will be the last time we see this. I am really hoping that Rockstar keep it in until Halloween is over, but yeah, for this week it will have a huge triple money and RP bonus. So any of you guys out there who love a challenge, this will be a pretty nice thing to do, and the best part about the survival is it can be done solo. Before you guys go ahead and jump straight into this, you definitely want to make sure that you have a bunch of snacks, and I would also stock up on some armor. For those of you guys who have just played the KO Preco Survival a couple of weeks ago, and you want a sort of summary between the two, the Ludendorff Cemetery Survival, in my opinion, is a lot easier to complete. I remember the first time playing this all the way last year, and it definitely felt a lot harder back then, but after playing the KO Preco Survival, that really has set the bar in terms of difficulty, especially solo. So jumping back into this one, I really had not much problems in terms of the enemies and stuff. For some tips that I can give you, I really just went to the back of the church in this really nice and open area. Although the visibility was pretty bad, I could still just about make out the targets as they came towards me. Unlike the KO Preco Survival, this survival does not have them annoying splitter enemies. Probably the worst enemy type is the Juggernaut type of one. If you guys see one of them once spawn in, just use something like a minigun or even the assault shotgun. These will pretty much be the go-to weapons for this entire survival. Whenever you can, I would also recommend just throwing a grenade or 2. It will help you with some of the clearance. Another solid reason to play this survival really comes down to the weekly challenge, because you will need to survive 4 waves of any survival. Now, because it is any survival, if you do struggle with the Ludendorff Cemetery one, I would still probably suggest switching things up and going for one of the starter survivals without all of these different enemy types. However, with the triple money and RP, you really cannot go wrong. Where things got a bit more intense was around wave 7. The enemies did kind of pick up the pace, but yeah, as you will see in the gameplay, it is really boring for me at least. I pretty much just stayed in the same position, even for this wave. And on the next wave, when things got a little bit more worrying, this is when I started to move around a lot more. The strat that I went for was pretty much to go around the whole cemetery. As long as you guys keep sprinting for a few seconds, you'll get enough space to turn around and start lighting up the enemies. From wave 8 onwards, this is essentially what I did. The enemy type that I would focus on the most when they do spawn in is the Undead Mage. When they do spawn, they will start using this sort of gas, so if you do stand still for a long time, you will eventually take damage to this. The best weapon to take them out is probably the minigun. This really did some solid work for me at least, and I just incorporated the same strategy as before, running for a few seconds to get ahead, pulling out the minigun and quickly taking out the Undead Mage. As expected, the final round of the survival was easily the hardest. There was a ton of these Juggernaut type of enemies, but just like before, using the same strat to run ahead, pull out the minigun and turn around worked a treat. And just like that, the wave was completed along with the survival. Altogether pretty simple. It took me about 30 minutes to complete the entire thing, and I got a payout of $120,000, along with completing the weekly challenge for an extra $200,000. So a very nice payout, and from this point you really have a choice if you want to replay this, keep farming the survival for even more money. For me at least, I think I will just be playing this once and calling it a day. I don't think the payout is too good. It does feel like you have to concentrate just a little bit too much, but nevertheless I still think it is a pretty nice payout considering it is classed as an active money method. And if you guys have other businesses in the background, you will be essentially making a lot more cash. And on the topic of businesses in the background, this event also did have an MC business with a bonus, and that will be our second money method for the video. It will obviously be the counterfeit cash factory with some double money and RP, or a massive 4x bonus for GTA Plus members. The counterfeit cash factory itself is pretty simple. There is not really much to say on this. However, there is one thing in particular that I do want to highlight, and it will be purchasing the car wash business, which might sound a little bit crazy considering that will have nothing in terms of bonuses, but there is a huge feature that connects the car wash to the counterfeit cash factory. So when you do have a counterfeit cash factory fully upgraded with the equipment upgrade and staff upgrade, and then you go ahead and purchase a car wash, the moment you do that, your counterfeit cash factory will get a permanent 35% sell boost. So nowadays in GTA Online, it is highly recommended to purchase the car wash business. If you are thinking about doing the counterfeit cash factory, that 35% boost is genuinely quite substantial, and it is just one of them simple things where you guys have to spend money to make money. Pretty much the entire philosophy around GTA Online. In the gameplay, I did not manage to completely fill my counterfeit cash factory in time, but even with just a little over half of the stock level, you will see that I can make $620,000, and this is with just the standard double money. I currently do not have GTA Plus, so if you do have GTA Plus, you would be looking at a ridiculous amount, and something to potentially consider. You could even sell to the closer location for a little bit less money, but it will make the sell missions a little bit easier in terms of the time it takes. I never typically do this, and I probably still will never do it, because getting that extra money is always just better. I also went ahead and tried to do some sell missions. However, the first sell mission that I got was the Trash Master trucks, and there was no chance that I was going to do this, so I set my spawn location to last location, switched sessions, started another sell mission, and still got the Trash Master trucks. So that is another tip that you guys could potentially do if you do get the trucks, but be warned because you might get them again, and every time you are doing this, you will be losing some stock. I still think it is very worthwhile, especially with the double money, and of course if you already have a car wash business, that 35% boost can pretty much pay off for you switching sessions. So yeah, that will really wrap it up for these two money methods. I really just wanted to go a little bit more in depth on them both, and with some luck you guys can get some use out of this. Maybe you were struggling with the Ludendorff Cemetery survival and you just needed some guidance, or maybe you had no idea about the car wash giving a boost to the counterfeit cash factory. It is definitely recommended to pick one up. If you guys have any more tips on these two things, or even maybe a different money method from the event that you think is better than both of these two, make sure to leave a comment below. I'm also intrigued to hear what you guys think about these money methods from the event. At least in my opinion, I think that the counterfeit cash factory and Ludendorff Cemetery survival will quite easily be the best money makers this week. Another potentially good thing that you could also do, which applies to every single weekly update, will of course be the new weekly money methods like the FIB priority file. If you have a garment factory, salvage yard robberies making you around $1 million, and the time trials. And of course we already did cover the weekly challenge. I do think the only annoying thing about the counterfeit cash factory is the sell missions. Depending on how much stock you sell, it can take some time, but luckily Rockstar did change the time limit on the sell missions to 45 minutes, which will essentially make every sell mission doable even if you are a solo player. Definitely worth trying to do some of these different things, and of course you can pair the survival and counterfeit cash factory together for the best results. And as always, if you guys went on to enjoy this video or found it useful in any way, shape or form, make sure to leave a like. I always do appreciate your support, and if you are new to the channel and like what you see, subscribe and hit that bell icon to never miss a video. Finally guys, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.